Okay, YouTube land, I want to show you something here. I don't have the seal driver tool that I should to do this, so here we have a socket. This is a 2-inch opening 12.75 drive socket. I see the boot on this here. The boot on that seal just barely fits down inside that socket to where I'm not going to destroy the boot that sticks out, and it's just barely hitting the shell on the outside. Now it'd be better if I had a 2 1/8 or a 2 1/4. 2-inch seems to be the biggest my 3/4 drive socket set goes up to. Like I said, I'd rather do this with a sealed installing tool, but mine is missing. Also noticed something else. The snap ring that retains my axle, the one thing I saw in there was a piece of it, and another piece came out when I took the old seal out. They were in the bottom of the drain pan, and I set I think I set both pieces up there. I probably knocked one off because I opened that door a minute ago to get something out. That's part of it. It's broken. It's Sunday evening. The parts store, they'll have it. If a replacement parts store has it, it'll be a jobber type, and they're not open till Monday morning. I need this thing done. Also, likely the only one that won't have that is a Ford dealer. It might come with an axle kit, but places are not going to sell it out of an axle kit. The jobber part stores, they might, and just order a hardware kit. Sometimes they do that for customers, sometimes they won't. There's no guarantee on it. Look around for something. Anyways, that's where we're at the moment. Okay, YouTube land. Had a development. I was having a really hard time getting that seal in there. It's in there back there. And just couldn't get it by myself. Wasn't getting it set in there square. So I called my buddy Jeff up. And Jeff's the guy, I've only known him a few months now, but this is twice he's come to my aid. So you could say I'm going to owe this guy big time, because if I call him and tell him I need help, he seems to show up. I had to wait an hour and a half, but you know, when you need help, you kind of do that. So I got everything back together. I got the axle nut in. It's not torqued. I just ran it in with the 1/2-inch drive ratchet, my long handle Proto. I can put the wheel on, and with the center cap off, I can get to that and do it with the electric impact tomorrow during the daytime and not disturb everybody. It's dark, but it's 9 o'clock at night. I just want to get these brake parts on and set the wheel on and just finger tight the lug nuts for tonight and get the jack and stuff put up. That way it doesn't look as hideous, and at the most I have maybe an hour and a half of work to do tomorrow to make it so it's operable. I can't get the other side done probably. If I have to work tomorrow, I won't be able to get it done. If I don't have to work tomorrow, I'll be able to get it done. But if I do have to work tomorrow, I'll just squeeze some gear oil down the vent tube, and the right side shouldn't be leaking. All that floor jack's sitting on, that came out of the right side axle tube. I had to go earlier to storage locker and get some tools to do this with. Driving the seal in, I just had to have a second set of hands. I got under there and squared it up and held the socket squared to the seal, and Jeff just wailed on the end of my 3/4 drive breaker bar and drove it home. Sometimes, you know, just having a second set of hands help, even if they don't understand what you're doing, which he didn't understand the issue, but yet the guy helped me anyways. All right, so that's all for now. Okay, YouTube land, it's the next day. Came out here and checked the torque on my wheel, then dropped the truck to the ground. I had used my long handle half drive Proto ratchet to run in the axle nut all the way, and then gave it a couple cranks. Then with the truck on the ground, to recheck my lugs, and took the 1/2-inch drive electric impact and went ahead and gave that nut a torque check. It says the spec on the nut's supposed to be, I believe, 150 to 200 foot-pounds of torque. I got it so tight with the ratchet with the thing up in the air that the impact didn't even spin it, not even a 32nd of an inch. This here is the snap ring pieces for the axle snap ring, and like I said, that was Sunday. There's no way I could get that, and I had no way to get to a store today to get it either without this thing being put together. You could see that thing, I'd say it's failed a while ago. It's been out of there. That's not the end that goes together, folks. Then it'd be like that. But I believe that axle's been out before. Here on the table, this is the DeWalt electric impact. It says 120 volts, 7.5 amps. Model is DW290. I acquired that in an auction from a rigging company it was going under. Same place I acquired my chain fall from, and some D-ring shackles. This is the old seal, and I messed it up getting it out, but you can see the metal shell there, and you can see that boot on there. And yeah, I took a pry bar to it. I tried to pry it out from the inside like you do with some of the seal pulling tools, and that wasn't working. So I had to take a thin little pry bar to get it between there. I got this, let's see if I can find it. Just hang on. Okay, YouTube land, here it is. This is it's made to be a nail bar and a pry bar. Well, I'll tell you what, a couple years ago when I was working on my 98 Century, getting the motor ready to change, I needed something to turn the flywheel with. They no longer make the one Lyle flywheel tool for GM front wheel drives. The one they sell you for GM rear drives does not work in GM front drive transmission. But yet this will get in there in the couple inches you have when you take the starter out and take off the access plate to spin the flywheel and to hold the flywheel. It's a little bit harder to hold the flywheel with this and break the torque converter nuts free, yet I could do it. And you can put them back in that with this tool too. Well, driving that up in there between that axle tube and that seal worked the best, because I was able to tap this thing around and get about 70% of it to come free. At the bottom, I tried it with a larger small pry bar, the one that's got a screwdriver handle that's about the size of an average smaller flat blade screwdriver. Put that seal up there. The inner seal lip looks like it's just worn. I'm not sure if this has been changed or not. The new one has a mauve color. This has a brown color. It's too rusty on the shell to tell, but I would almost guess this was a national seal that was put in at the factory. I don't think these have been changed before, but I think those axles, I think a passenger side axle may have been replaced. And yeah, when Jeff was over last night and I started throwing things back together, the phone was in on the charger, and I think Jeff's camera shy, because I was like, hang on, let me go get the phone. He's like, no. So then I was on the phone with two of my buddies for about 3 hours last night while I was out here just piddling, putting things back together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to recheck my lugs in 25 to 40 miles. So I'm going to leave the center cap off. But as you can see, with the center cap off, you can access the axle nut on this truck. So you you don't have any excuse for not being able to get that broke free with the vehicle on the ground. With the vehicle on the ground, you just remove the center cap on this. It's not like a GM where you have to take the wheel off and then take a cotter key out and a shield off to get the axle nut off. Nope, there's no cotter key, there's no castle nut over top of that. It is just held on by torque and torque alone. So you could do this on the ground with the wheel and tire in place with your wheels chalked, the vehicle in park, and you can break that free. I use the electric impact to break it free, but I could have done it with this here. They're both the same size, and I got this, I know it's a cheap chrome socket and 1/2-inch drive. My good ones have all disappeared out of my half drive set, but I use this. What calls for 32 millimeter? If you look, 1.25 is a little bit smaller. It's 31.7 something millimeters. That's a 12 point, so it's a little bit looser. Hang on a second here. Sorry about that. I'm kind of getting tools put up and everything. I'm not sure if I have to work today or not, and I'm waiting to hear from them. But that puddle there, that is from Friday and Saturday. I parked it in about the same spot, and then yeah, that one on the driver's side, that's from Saturday to Sunday. I haven't done driver's side yet. I did the passenger side first because it was the biggest leaker. I haven't put anything back in yet. I have to do that before I go down the road. Yet I'll do it the same way I did the other side, through the vent tube. Now I checked at the parts house, and the front cover gasket is not available. Front cover already has RTV on it, so that's what they said. Cover gasket's not available. You have to RTV it. I don't like doing that, but if I have to, I have to. I'm going to change both seals first, and then yeah, I may not. Nah, I'll say I may not. I would rather not have to pull the cover off because it does not look like there's enough room to actually get the cover out. And that's one of my pet peeves, is pulling something like that off and not being able to take it all the way out and clean it right. With the seal, I took the old seal out. I took a clean paper towel and wiped out the mating surface on the inside of the axle tube. And the inside of the axle tube was bright and shiny, looked brand new inside, so there wasn't a bunch of debris going in. It was because I kept it full of fluid. Fluid was just coming out, which was pushing out any debris that got in there. My truck keeps getting more and more scratches. Somebody keeps walking through here between my little table and my truck, even though I've told people do not walk through my place. People keep doing it. I keep getting more and more scratches on my doors. Like these here, they're fresh scratches. Those look like dog or key or something. Those weren't there last week. Yeah, I see I got some grease on that door. I'll wipe that off. Alright, that's all for now. I'm going to edit the second part together, which takes about an hour on my phone. That takes another hour to compile it, and then I'll try to get it on YouTube today. I'll probably make a video when I do the left side. Maybe I'll do more inclusive steps, because the instructions on doing these on the internet are not too clear. Alright, later YouTube.